Hello, algebra students. Mr. Laurence here, and excuse me, we are going to be doing a little quiz review here. Your quiz is Friday. Come see me if you need some help. Talk to me. Send me an email. Something. First of all, you're going to have to. The quiz is Thursday because there's no school Friday. You're going to have to be able to simplify rads, right? And remember, we want to know our perfect squares. If you need to generate a list, that's fine. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144, and I don't need to do any more because they're all bigger than 147. So I'm going to go through here, and I might, help use a calculator to help me figure this out, but I'm going to try to find which one of these perfect squares, the largest one of these perfect squares that are listed, is a factor of 147. If I can find perfect square factors, this gets so much easier. All right, so 144 is not going to go in evenly. 121 won't go in evenly. 100 won't, because 100 times 2 is 200. 81 times 1, that's going to be in the 160s. No, that's too big. 64, I'm not sure about. I don't think so, but I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'll do 147 divided by 64. Okay, no, that doesn't work. A really good thing to do would be to pause and see if you can find it. See if you can find the largest perfect square. I'm going to keep going here. I got 147 divided by, what is that, 49? Oh, 3 times, there it is. So I'm going to break this down into 49 and 3. Now remember, that means that this is the same problem, rad 49 times rad 3. And I'm not sure why I get such strange looks from students when I say, what's rad 49? They all look at me. I just want the positive square root of 49. You all know it's 7. Rad 3 you don't know. There you go. There's rad 147 simplified to 7 rad 3. All right, you're also going to have to know how to add and subtract. If the rads match, they're like terms. Remember, like terms only applies in addition, subtraction situations, not in multiplication or division because of grouping. All right, excuse me a second. So since all these are rad 11s, I can do 6 minus 5, and I'll have 1 rad 11 plus the 4 rad 11. I must have 5 rad 11. There is my answer, 5 rad 11. Now number 3, they're not like terms, except I can change the way rad 20 looks. I'm going to simplify it. Let's see, I think that's 4 times 5, which is the same as rad 4 times rad 5, which is the same as 2 rad 5. So this problem really is 7 rad 5 plus 2 rad 5, and that equals 9 times rad 5. There it is. Okay. I'm going to have to know how to multiply rads. Oh, I think I left a distribution situation out. You know what? We'll do those. I'm going to add another one here. We'll call it problem 13. Going to have a double distribution. Oh, no, it'll show up in a later one. That's okay. I don't have to add any more. All right, so I'm going to do 5 times 2, and I'm going to get 10. And then I'm going to get rad 6 times rad 6, which is not rad 6. It's plain old 6, so it's going to be 10 times 6, which is 60. Yeah. And you can always check that on your calculator. Make sure you get 60 if you multiply that out. All right, I'm going to do 4 times 2, and I'm going to get 8. Now this rad, I'm not going to multiply 14 times 7. I'm going to think about 14 as 2 times 7. And then I need another 7 in there. And look at that. I have a date, don't I? The 7s can leave the house. I'm going to have an 8 times the 7s that left the house. The rad 2's left, the 2's left inside the rad. And if I multiply that, I get 56 rad 2. All right, by the way, on 4, we multiplied 2 irrational numbers and got a rational. Here, on 5, we multiplied 2 irrational numbers and got an irrational number. All right, dividing is super simple because you can rewrite it like this, and then you can go 80 over 20, and then that would equal rad 4, because 80 divided by 20 is 4, and rad 4 is 2. Wow. This one here, again, you can write it as 1. 10 over 90, well, that's the same as 1 over 9. Now, if you want, if you don't know this rad of 1/9, you can break it down. You can go rad 1 divided by rad 9. Rad of 1 is 1. Rad of 9 is 3. And there you go. 1/3 is the answer. Yeah. Pretty simple stuff. All right, perimeter and area. And let's see here, perimeter and area. All right, let's do the perimeter first. Now, perimeter, all you got to do is add your rational numbers. Add your rational numbers, add your irrational numbers, and then you will know what your perimeter is. So I'm rewriting these on both sides, right? Because it's a rectangle. And I'm going to go through and highlight my rational numbers. Looks like I got a 5 and a 5 and a 6 and a 6. The rational part of my answer will be 22. Okay. Now before I do the irrational part of my answer, I'd better simplify rad 50. I'm thinking rad 50 is 25 times 2, which makes it 5 rad 2. So I'm going to cross that out and change it to a 5 rad 2. And of course I'm going to change it there to a 5 rad 2. So now I'll do the irrational part of my answer. And so I've got a 5 rad 2 here, a 3 rad 2, another 5 rad 2, and another 3 rad 2. Well, how many rad 2s do I have? Looks like I'm going to have 5, 10, 16. 16 rad 2s. And there is my perimeter. Okay, now to do area, I'm going to think multiplication. And I'm going to take that quantity of 6 plus 3 rad 2, and I'm going to multiply it by 5 plus 5 rad 2. I'm not going to use the rad 50, I'm going to use the simplified version of it. And now I'm going to double distribute. I'm going to go 6 times 5 plus 5 rad 2, and then I'm going to go 3 rad 2 times 5 plus 5 rad 2. I'll do that multiplication and I'll combine like terms. All right, so 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 5 rad 2 is 30 rad 2. Over here I get 5 times 3 rad 2, which is 15 rad 2. And then this last part, 3 times 5 is 15. But rad 2 times rad 2 is 2. So this part here is going to be 30. So I've got a 30, a positive 30 rad 2, a positive 15 rad 2, and another 30. It's just a coincidence that I have two 30s. There's no specific reason. It's not a magic trick. There is my area. Remember that when you double distribute, or when you have area, you have to double distribute. But when you do, you're going to multiply the first part of the binomial by the entire second binomial. And then the second term of the binomial by the entire binomial. Make sure you get these right. Rad 3 times rad 3, 3. You can say rad 9, but the best answer is 3. Go right for the 3. Rad 18 times rad 18, 18. Then, of course, you have to multiply that by what you got when you multiply the coefficients. All right, that's the video. Good luck on your quiz. Mr. Laurence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.